Stitched by Susan. I'm standing in front of Stella, the long arm. Let me see if I can move the tripod and get a little better lighting on my face. I never know what this is going to look like till I actually get live. There we go, a little bit better. How's everyone doing? Just takes a minute for YouTube to sort of let everyone know that I'm on here. Gosh, I'm looking at the colors in the room. You know, I've got my double wedding ring here and my bright blue shirt and my super bright basket quilt. There's a lot going on here, isn't there? Anyway, I'm curious to know what all of you are doing today. For me, it is a rainy, rainy, rainy day. We're in the Pacific Northwest and it's beautiful, but rainy and dark. Anyway, everything's looking super green. You can even see it out my window. See how green everything is. Okay, here's the scoop. You're in my studio, Stitched by Susan, and I'm coming live every day for about a month, Monday through Saturday, to talk about impromptu, very daily, very sort of commonplace topics about machine quilting, mostly at my long arm. I'll try and get a few in that are at my domestic sewing machine as well. Cindy Lou is saying good morning. Cindy is planning on binding a couple of baby quilts today. Nice. And Sienna, love the quilt on the frame. Ohio here and super humid. I mean, I guess we have humidity too because of the rain, but gosh, I don't know because I have a coat on all the time. It's pretty cold today. Oh gosh. Anyways, in these live episodes, I'm just chatting with you about things that are going on in my studio, usually what type of project that I'm working on and things that I think would be of interest to other machine quilters. So you all have seen this quilt. I think yesterday was the first day I had it loaded. It's a basket quilt, obviously. And I am doing custom quilting on it, and so it's taking a little bit of planning, a little bit of time. So yesterday we talked a bit about planning in advance and particularly planning stitching sequences in advance. But today I want to talk about lighting. This is something that maybe I didn't put enough thought into early in my long arm quilting. The first machine I had was a Gamel and it had no overhead lighting at all, just the headlight that was on the machine. And I had what I thought were decent overhead lights in my quilting studio. I was just kind of in a bonus room over a garage. And I didn't really know how good it could be until my husband put in some shop lights. So this is the sort of first level of improving lighting that I want to tell you about. And there's a couple levels, steps you can take. And the very last one, I'm going to give you one infallible way that I have found for the hardest to see fabrics that always works no matter what. So first level is just plain make sure you have decent lighting in your working area. My next level up, my next step up was my husband, Mr. Producer, built me an overhead frame over my machine with LED lights in it. It was lightweight and it was small, but they were incredibly bright. And boy, having the shop lights first and then those LED lights just made it clear to me how important it is to just plain have generous and good lighting over your working. You just don't even know how much eye strain there is until you get better. Do you know what I mean? Let's see if there's any comments in yet. I'm curious what you all have done with your lighting, by the way. Judy, warm in Georgia today. Angela, sunny in Athabasca, planting some flowers. Oh, nice, and prepping the town garden. That sounds like a lot of fun. Really, I should be planting flowers today too, because honestly, this rainy, overcast weather is great for transplanting. Then the flowers get a chance to kind of settle in before they get baked in the sun, which we'll be having in a few days from now. But anyway, flowers are not on the agenda today. Still working on lighting. Okay, want to hear my infallible way to light fabrics? It might surprise you. The hardest to see fabrics that I have found is number one, black thread on black fabric. And black light can help with that. I don't happen to have black light at my current machine. And to me, it was not infallible, so it's not the way that I went most of the time. But the other thing that I find super hard to quilt on is certain prints. And one designer comes to mind. His name is Jason Yenter. And I have a client who loves his fabrics. They are beautiful, but a lot of his prints are dense, maybe that's the word. They're fine prints, but dense and small variations in color. And no matter what the color is, they might be gray, they might be green, they might even be golds, but it can be incredibly difficult to see where you've stitched, especially if you've got a blending thread, and we often do. So this is my infallible way, my secret weapon. Look at this. It is simply a gooseneck lamp. So what I do with the hardest to see fabrics is I turn off all the lights in the room. So whether they're my overhead lights at my machine, my room lights on the ceiling, any lights that are in the room, and frankly, if it's daylight, I close the blinds. So I literally am getting the room fairly dark. And then I turn on my lamp with a strong side light, right? So you see how low down I've got this gooseneck, and I lower it way down and I cast this side light. Of course, you can't really see it because I have lights on so that you can see me. But what happens is it casts shadows wherever you have stitched. So essentially you're quilting by shadow, but it's amazing how well it works. So if you don't believe me, try it out. Like it seems counterintuitive to turn out all the lights in the room and essentially work in the dark, but you're literally casting the strongest shadows that you can, and you do that by making the room dark and then turning on this side light. There are some machines which maybe have a side light. I don't know if that's sideways enough to cast it across. I don't know. I just have found my little gooseneck floor lamp that I can move, to whatever area I'm working on my quilt to be really, really, really helpful. And a little side note, in case you do any videoing of quilting, I've done a lot of my quilt videos with that side light too, for exactly the same reasons. If I have overhead lights shining down on the quilt, often my machine quilting is not really showing up in the video. It doesn't seem very visible. But if I turn out some of the room lights and cast that side light, I can capture that quilting. It really shows up in the video. So that's a little side tip too, if you do any videoing. Okay, let's back up here. Janice, I found my 30s repro very hard to see. I think for the same reasons as the Jason Yenter fabrics that I mentioned, Janice, because there's a lot of the same color, small density, small print, and little variations of color, and your stitches just become invisible almost in that, right? So same thing applies there. Maureen, quilting a quilt for grandson's high school graduation. Lovely. Janice, my machine has good lights, but use side lamp as you suggested as needed. Helps a lot. I do feel like it's my final answer, but I've never had it fail me. When everything else is not working, that side lamp has always come through for me. Cindy, I have an aught light with a gooseneck next to my long arm. Never thought of using it to cast shadows. I'll have to try that. Yeah, do give it a try, Cindy. I have found it to be super, super effective. Betsy, do you need to change the side of the light depending which direction you're going? Not really, Betsy, because you can see whether you're moving left or whether you're moving right. But of course, fairly close to the light is where it casts the strongest shadow. So I do end up moving it along my long arm as I'm working, but I don't necessarily flip sides, if that makes sense. I just keep it fairly close to where I'm working. Of course, you don't want to bump into it either, so take that advice with a grain of salt. Brenda, thank you so much. You are welcome. Yeah, it is an infallible thing. I have never found it to fail me. So whether it's because the fabric is dark and I'm having a hard time seeing, or because of the print quality of the fabric, that the stitches are so invisible, that side strong light has always proved to be the answer. So that's my tip for today. Okay, again, I'm coming live every day, Monday through Saturday, with sometimes a tip, sometimes just what I'm working on today, sometimes a headache, depending, what the thing is that I'm working on, but just chatting through some of the things that go on in my studio. I welcome your questions or your suggestions for topics to talk about. So you can comment on any of these posts. You can also go to the post tab. We were having this discussion yesterday, and I feel like on most people's devices, it says post, and it's kind of in the menu under my channel, or really anybody's channel. You can post on their channel. When I see it from the creator's end, it's called a community tab. So we had a bit of disconnect there, but I think you'll be seeing it as posts. But you can post questions there. You can even post pictures there. And I'm really trying to stay up on those and stay communicating with you each day as well. So I welcome your topics. I'm going to try next weekend, probably Friday, to do an Ask Me Anything episode. So again, it'll just be a collection of questions, but instead of just having one tip, I'm just going to go through as many questions as come in. I've been getting some on my website, so that's one place you can submit them. There's a spot there to submit questions for Ask Me Anything, and I keep a spreadsheet of those, but certainly you can add them into the comments of any of these daily episodes as well. So I do have a playlist going. It's called May 2025 Daily Snippets. So if you want to watch all the ones that have come before, that's where they're all located at, so you can find them all one after the other. Barbara, hey, I've made it live. So good, Barbara. Glad to see you here. Anyway, we're about done for today. That's all I've got for your lighting tips. So remember that one infallible tip, strong side light and quilt by shadow. Works every time. All right, see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me.